struggling to find motivation these days? Maybe you've tried every tip, hack, and mindset shift you could find, and yet the motivation just doesn't stick. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips away. But here's something interesting. What if the answer to finding true motivation has been hidden for centuries? I'm talking about Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that's all about resilience, clarity, and finding purpose no matter what life throws at you. Imagine facing every day, not with dread or frustration, but with a deep sense of calm and purpose. That's what the Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca lived for. They believed that with the right mindset, you could find the motivation to do just about anything, even in the face of hardship. So, what is it about Stoicism that keeps people coming back to it, even thousands of years after it was first taught? And how can its teachings help you find motivation that actually lasts? In this video, we're going to break down the powerful, no-nonsense mindset Stoics used to not just survive, but thrive, and how you can use it to fuel your motivation in ways you might never have thought possible. Let's dive in and uncover the Stoic approach to staying motivated, no matter what challenges come your way. Understanding Stoicism and its core principles. Before we jump into using Stoicism to fuel motivation, let's break down what Stoicism actually is. Originating in ancient Greece, Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of everything else. In a world full of uncertainties, this perspective can be liberating and surprisingly motivating. At its core, Stoicism revolves around a few key ideas. First, the idea of logos, which means aligning with universal reason, or essentially the natural order of things. The Stoics believed that everything has a reason and place, and that understanding this can help us feel more grounded and motivated. Then there's apatheia, a term that might sound like apathy, but actually means freedom from negative emotions that weigh us down. Rather than being controlled by anger, jealousy, or fear, Stoics believe that we can learn to let go of these emotions and act from a place of calm and clarity. And finally, there's eudaimonia, which is about living a fulfilled and meaningful life. Stoics don't see happiness as something fleeting. They view it as a long-term state that comes from knowing you're living in alignment with your values and purpose. Now, how does all of this relate to motivation? Well, Stoicism isn't just theory, it's a practical toolkit for facing challenges head-on. When we can focus on what we control, when we refuse to be shaken by setbacks, and when we pursue our values with dedication, motivation isn't something we have to chase. It naturally grows within us. The Stoic approach to motivation. So, how exactly does Stoicism help us stay motivated? One of the biggest ideas in Stoicism is to see every obstacle as an opportunity. Stoic thinkers believed that challenges aren't roadblocks, they're actually fuel for growth. This mindset is known as the obstacle is the way, the idea that instead of resisting difficulties, we should embrace them as part of the journey. Let's take a lesson from Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most famous Stoic philosophers. He ruled as Roman emperor, facing countless wars, plagues, and political betrayals, yet he found strength in accepting what was beyond his control. In his personal journal, he wrote that every obstacle in life can be turned to our advantage if we see it as a chance to improve. This perspective can be a game changer for motivation. Now, applying this to our lives, imagine you're struggling with a personal goal, like staying consistent at the gym or working on a creative project. Instead of letting frustration drain your motivation, a Stoic would encourage you to view each setback as a test of resilience, a way to strengthen your commitment. When we start seeing challenges as teachers, it removes the fear and frustration we often feel, and motivation begins to feel like a natural response. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you create through your perspective and your actions. And as the Stoics would say, control what you can and let the rest go. That clarity gives you the energy to keep moving forward. Practical Stoic exercises for motivation. Now that we've covered the Stoic mindset, let's dive into some practical exercises you can use to build motivation every day. Stoicism isn't just philosophy, it's a set of actionable practices that anyone can try. First up, the morning reflection. When you wake up, take a few moments to think about what you want to achieve today and the mindset you want to carry with you. For the Stoics, this practice was about preparing for the day's challenges. Instead of expecting a smooth day, they would anticipate possible obstacles and decide how they would respond calmly and effectively. Starting your day with this kind of mental preparation can boost your resilience and help you stay motivated. Another powerful practice is negative visualization. It might sound counterintuitive, but imagine something going wrong with your plans. This doesn't mean you're being pessimistic. It means you're preparing your mind to be adaptable. By visualizing potential setbacks, you become less anxious about them and more motivated to handle whatever comes your way with a sense of calm. Finally, the evening reflection is just as essential. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review your actions. Ask yourself, did I focus on what I could control? Did I keep my values in mind? This isn't about being hard on yourself, it's about self-awareness and growth. Reviewing your day helps you see your progress and reconnects you with your goals, keeping motivation steady. These Stoic exercises don't take much time, but they can have a huge impact. Over time, they'll help you stay resilient and motivated, regardless of what life throws at you. How to apply Stoic principles to find long-term motivation. Now that we've looked at some Stoic exercises, let's talk about how to make Stoicism a long-term source of motivation in your life. One of the biggest lessons Stoicism teaches is to find motivation in things you truly value rather than seeking constant rewards or validation. This is called intrinsic motivation. It's motivation that comes from within, and it's what keeps you going even when things get tough. For the Stoics, life wasn't about chasing fame or fortune. It was about aligning actions with their core values, like honesty, resilience, and compassion. When you find motivation through your values rather than external rewards, it becomes much harder to get discouraged. If setbacks come up, you're less likely to give up because you're driven by something deeper than just the outcome. So, a helpful practice is to identify one or two key values that you want to guide your actions. Let's say it's growth and integrity. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how can I act in a way that aligns with these values? This simple shift from, what can I get out of this, to, how can I live by my values, can be incredibly motivating. In the end, Stoicism is about pursuing purpose over pleasure and meaning over momentary happiness. And when we're driven by purpose, motivation feels less like a fleeting emotion and more like a steady source of energy. So, to wrap things up, let's recap the Stoic approach to finding motivation in life. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, embrace challenges as opportunities, and ground ourselves in values that provide true meaning. Motivation isn't something we need to constantly chase. Instead, it's something we build by shifting our perspective, practicing resilience, and aligning with our core values. Remember, motivation is less about feeling driven every moment and more about developing a steady commitment to your purpose, even when the going gets tough. Try adopting one of these Stoic exercises, like morning reflections or evening reviews, and see how it changes the way you approach each day. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on building a resilient and purposeful life. Let's keep growing together. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic.